Welcome back. A new report from Generations United reveals that grandparent-led households experience food insecurity at twice the national rate. And according to the report, 25% of grandparent-headed households experienced food insecurity between 2019 and 2020. And without access to healthy meals, families are at risk of facing some major health concerns. Generations United Deputy Executive Director Jaia Lent live with us this morning. Good to have you with us.
Good to be here.
So what are the key takeaways from this new report here?
Yes, so about 2.5 million children are living in households headed by a grandparent or another relative or a close family friend. And that's about 45,000 children in the state of Washington. And what the report showed is that these families are more likely to be facing food insecurity and hunger. As you identified, 1 in 4 grandparent-headed households face insecurity, twice the national rate. And we really want to emphasize that families should not have to go hungry simply because they stepped up to care for a child. Hunger hurts, and we need to be getting them the supports and services they need. We know that when children can't remain with their parents, they do better in households with a relative, someone who knows them and loves them. They have better behavioral health and mental health outcomes and more stability and a stronger sense of belonging. Yet they are less likely to have access to those supports and services like food and nutrition programs. And so we need to do a better job letting them know what's out there for them and making programs accessible to them where there are barriers.
So what factors are you seeing that affect a child's ability to thrive here? Like, for example, access to affordable, healthy foods, a stable place to live, healthcare, things like that.
That's right. So often children come into the care of relatives unexpectedly. So all of a sudden they may get a call in the middle of the night saying the children can't be with their parents anymore, and they either are going to come into your care or they're going to end up in foster care. So suddenly a grandparent is responsible for another mouth to feed, and they may not know where to turn. So getting them connected to supports and services that can help them know what they qualify for, where they can go to for help is really important. We see that a lot of food and nutrition programs, their marketing and their outreach materials are geared towards traditional families. They talk about parents and children. So we need for grandfamilies to see themselves in that outreach, for those materials to say, or a grandparent, you can qualify. We serve families like yours. We also see challenges with the way programs are operated. So often, particularly during the pandemic, we saw there might be a food resource for seniors over here. So a family would have to go over here for the grandparent to access their support, and then across town for the food resource that supplies help for children. So these grandfamilies are, needing to go to multiple locations to have the needs of their families met. So we recommend joint nutrition programs so that the families can go all in one spot, be aware of what's available to them, and get access to those nutrition supports.
Okay, so what would you urge policymakers to do about this to get an uplift for the health of all grandfamilies out there?
Yes, so a couple of things. One is that rather than the siloed funding that goes by age, that we really encourage these joint nutrition programs. We should be feeding full families, right? Then we have programs like SNAP, which really do feed full families. They look at a full household. But the challenge we have with grandfamilies is often these grandfamilies have saved some money for retirement. So because they may be living on fixed incomes or retired. So sometimes those programs look at that full income and say, well, you don't qualify because you have retirement savings. So we are recommending what is called a child-only benefit that really looks at the income of the child to determine whether or not a grandfamily would qualify. So they won't be penalized for responsibly saving to provide for their needs later in life when they step up to take care of a child.
It is
we also recommend
Oh, go ahead.
Automatic access to child nutrition programs like free and reduced price school meals so that these grandfamilies aren't struggling with going through red tape to get those children access to their school meals, which can be really critical to both their learning and their health.
No question about that. Jaia Lent from Generations United, thanks for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.